Okay, here you go. The video you all have been waiting for. The force feedback tutorial of WRC. EA Sports, it's in the game? The audio of this video is going to be a little bit more raw because I'm manhandling the mic. I used to play shows all the time, and I kind of miss holding a mic. This is my uncle's microphone. It's very important to me. This was his mic he used to perform with when he'd play live shows. It's still relevant today. He is still relevant today to me. We're going to go over the settings right now, but I want to preface this by saying I run a Cammus wheelbase. It's 8 Newton meters, direct drive technology. The LP8 is what I'm using. If you can find one, buy one. They're awesome. The force feedback might not feel the same to you if you're using different gear. I just want to put that out there. I realize I'm looking at the wrong camera. This is the camera I'm supposed to be looking at. Hello, welcome to the video. First of all, I run 900 degrees of rotation. Depending on what degrees of rotation you run, this will also feel different. I want to first show you that we're going to go to Edit Device on your steering wheel, and you want to go to Advanced first. Check your linearity, because when it's set at 0, in my opinion, it's very twitchy. These cars in real life would have quicker steering than your average regular Yogi Bear car. But I found that 2 works best for me. But check this, test this out, know that this is part of the equation of your overall experience with driving these cars. I have my force feedback in the Cammus software set to 100%. I'll go over those settings in a moment. So self-aligning torque, I have it set for 32. The reason I have it set pretty low is because you don't need like a ton of force feedback in a rally game. You just need to be able to feel the car, feel what it's doing. You don't need it to rip your arms off. It could be that you personally like to feel more force feedback, so just know that this is the overall feeling. Like, this is like the main slider. So if you turn that all the way down, it's going to feel like nothing. Wheel friction is like the actual resistance of the wheel, not the wheels. Tire friction is the actual friction on the ground. Suspension. Now you might be like, well, why is that so high? This is so you can get the wheel to feel lively. This is going to make it to where you can feel every little bump in the road, even when you're on like flat paved surfaces. Not so much texture can you feel, but you can feel the small undulations of the road. I love that word, undulations. Undulations. Tire slip. So this is like when you are literally slipping, sliding. It'll give you a little bit of sensation in the wheel to allow you to feel when you're losing traction. Now, engine is one of those things where it's an effect. It felt way too extreme at 100. 50 feels good, at least to me. That's so you can still feel the vibration of the, the engine being on. So even if you're at a standstill, you'll be able to feel this one. Collision, 100. Now, collision is not necessarily realistic. Depending on where you hit on the car, you wouldn't really feel it in the steering wheel. If something's not interfering with the actual steering of the car, like the wheels, you wouldn't really feel this through the steering wheel. You might feel like the whole car move, and as a result, the steering wheel might kind of move, right? But you wouldn't actually feel it like the wheel turn if your wheels are not turning. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of like an unrealistic effect, but it does make it feel better, and it gives you more penalty when you do make a mistake in the game and you have to correct for it. So I think it's a good thing overall. Now, soft lock at a certain rotation, it'll make it to where you can't go past that. And steering center force is, I don't know if it works right now, but it doesn't seem to work for me. But steering center force is like when you reset to the track or when you start the game, the wheel should center automatically, but it doesn't work for me. I've tried it both ways. It doesn't do anything. I don't know why. If it is important to you, leave it on. And maybe in a future update, that'll work. Or maybe it works for you now. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, does that work for you now? It doesn't work for me, no matter what I try. So those are the settings in game. Now I'm going to show you my wheel settings. I'm a wheel boy. So you can see right here, I have it set to 900 degrees of rotation. By the way, this wheelbase goes all the way up to 2,520 degrees. That's 6.5 full rotations. So if you're into trucking sims or whatever, go pick yourself up a Cammus. Now these are the base settings. So this is for any video game, right? 100% power. You always want your wheelbase, if you have separate settings like on PC, you want your wheelbase to be at 100%. So whatever the game tells it to do, it has enough dynamic headroom to be able to do that. So you want to always set your in-game force feedback lower and your in-wheelbase force feedback all the way up. So you have that full dynamic range. But as a rule of thumb, you never want your force feedback at 100%. If you're at 100% in the game to be able to feel something, you need a stronger wheelbase. I have natural damping at 15%. That makes it to where it's a little bit more rounded feeling, because if it's too sharp, sometimes it can feel very unrealistic. But if you are struggling with feeling like road noise and stuff like that, you can lower natural damping and friction and get a much sharper feeling out of your wheelbase. Natural friction is similar to wheel friction in the WRC software. So that means like when you're at a standstill like that, that's how much actual friction the wheel has. Not the wheels on the ground, but the wheel in your hands. Natural inertia, you pretty much don't want that. Maybe like if you're into drifting, would you want something like that? Like that's, if you spin the wheel and let it go, it'll kind of keep on going a little bit. Idle spring is when you're sitting there, like, so for instance, like right now, if I let go of the wheel, it'll return to center. And if I have that off, right, wherever I set the wheel, it'll stay. So actually, even right now that it's rotated, I'll turn it on, and it goes right back to center. So this setting is only for video games that do not have force feedback. So if you're playing like an older game, this is just so you can get kind of a feel for what the car is doing. So now we can also go to game effects in the Cammus software. CF filter, this is kind of like the interpolation filter in Fanatec software. So I always chose to have my interpolation set to raw, and I think it's backwards in Cammus software. I think 100% means you feel 100% of the game. So you always want your effects intensity to 100% as well in the wheel software, the wheelbase software. I think Q factor is a multiplier. I'm not positive about that. Actually, we're going to adjust that a little bit to 10%. Let's go ahead and do a stage. I think we'll do Portugal. Is there a really short stage in Portugal? Looks like 4.5 kilometers is the shortest. Maybe we'll go somewhere else. I need a shorter stage. I'm still hurting from the live stream earlier, so let me see. I want like a 3-miler. There we go. 3.5 miles. That's what we're talking about. This should be a good representation of how the game feels based on the movements of the steering wheels. I'll get a camera on the steering wheel so you can feel every bump, every sensation. I can't play this for long. I was going to do a short little demonstration. I'm really sore already. I had to take a hot bath. Nope. That was horrible. But I can feel all the little bumps. You can see, like, it's pretty active. Like, watch out how much little vibrations there are in the bumpy section here.
Slight left, 70. Short, 6 right, 6 left. Don't.
So it feels pretty active. And with some people, like, you know, people with Logitechs, you know, they'll be able to feel even more sensation from this setup here. But let me know in the comment section if these settings work for you, if you like them, because that might help someone in the future determine, like, hey, I have the same wheelbase, I'm gonna try it out. So anyway, have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.